Good morning, everyone, and happy Sunday. Happy New Year. We are going to start with our unity statement of being. There is one presence and one power in this church, in our lives, and in the universe. God, the good, the omnipotent. Followed by the 5 unity principles. Number 1, God is absolute good and everywhere present. Number 2, God lives in us, therefore we are prepared to do good. Number 3, we are creators with God, Number 4, prayer is great thinking that heights our connection with God. Number 5, these principles, and if you would, please silence your cell phones if you haven't already. And then we are going to stand for the Lord's Prayer, followed by You Are the Face of God.
Please be seated. So before we go into meditation, I would like, because this is our burning bowl ceremony, this will be our burning bowl ceremony today. And so if you do not have a piece of paper and a pen, please come up and grab a piece of paper and a pen, please. One sheet of paper is all you need. And a pen. Hopefully everyone should have a sheet of paper and something to write with. So now I'm going to invite everyone right where you are to go inwards. Close your eyes. Gently close the door. To everything in the external. And allow yourself to simply be. In these beautiful moments of silence, allow yourself to be still. Be at peace. Be one with the indwelling nature that lives within you. And it is this indwelling nature that we are attempting to give attention to this Sunday. For this is your true self. Your authentic self, your natural you. And so if this is your natural you, then everything else must be something else. And so it is this that I am inviting you to pay attention to. As you begin to discover new opportunities for release. For in this intention setting circus, where we set the intention to release what no longer serves, what we desire to transcend and move beyond. Perhaps these things are challenges, perhaps they're forgiveness opportunities. Perhaps they're misunderstandings, whatever they are to you. Whatever it is that you feel has not served you in 2025. I invite you to take a look at it. Go over it. And when you have an opportunity, write it down on that piece of paper that you have. Whatever it is, there is no judgment here. For this is your journey. And your journey is sacred. It is sovereign. So no one has the right to determine what is to be or not to be in your journey. It is determined by you and you alone. So if there is something that you have wanted to overcome time and time again, I invite you to write that down. Write that down on that piece of paper. And as you are now exploring within the depths of your consciousness, perhaps there's certain tendencies, perhaps there's certain behaviors, perhaps there's certain people that you continue to attract over and over into your life. Perhaps you're ready for a change. Perhaps these things no longer serve. If so, I invite you to write these things down, whatever it is. For this is a process of letting go. Forgiveness. Forgiving what we are not in order to step more fully into what we really are. Perhaps you felt certain needs to prove yourself. Perhaps you felt certain need for to be seen. Perhaps you felt certain needs to be loved. And perhaps these things are stemming from not feeling seen, not feeling loved, not feeling worthy. And so there's a desire to compensate. And so if you can recognize any of these things within yourself, then I invite you to take an honest, open look. Be brave. Do not be afraid. Is it serving you? Or if it is still serving you, then leave it where it is. If you feel a desire to transcend this, if you, somewhere deep down, know that you are worthy, even though you may not necessarily feel it. You know that you are loved, even though you may not necessarily feel it. And I invite you to write those things down. This is an inventory, a conscious inventory. We take inventory of everything that we've experienced, the highs and the lows, the happy moments and the sad ones, the mountains and the valleys. This is where we look at, what do I want to bring with me into 2026? And what do I want to leave? No longer serving me. I invite you to write those things down. Sunday morning, it is my intent to assist you with this, with a new message about peace, about letting go, about remembering who we are at our core, about peeling back like layers of an onion what we are not, in order to reveal what we are. This is my intent this Sunday morning. So I invite you to join me in that intention. For in truth, our minds are always joined. So on this beautiful Sunday morning in this sanctuary, we are creating an energy, a conscious intention, a mastermind consciousness of forgiveness, of release, of letting go, of transformation. So I ask you, how would you feel upon experiencing the transformation of consciousness? How would you feel upon feeling lighter and freer, happier and whole? How would you feel if you felt burdens fall from you? Or now you could fly? Where now you could spread your wings and take off, where you literally felt that you could fly. How wondrous would you feel? How wondrous would that be? Would you be grateful? Would you be joyful? Would you be excited? Well, if so, I invite you to feel that gratitude and that joy and that excitement right now. Feel it knowing that the universe responds with intention and emotion. Those are the coordinates. This is how you communicate. This is how you set intention for your intended destination. So hold that intention with me. And know that it is done. It is done. So now I invite you to simply feel gratitude for that which is already done. For all intentions are always answered. So now we give gratitude to Spirit. Say, thank you, Spirit, for answered intention. Thank you, Spirit, for answered prayer. We're truly grateful for these blessings, for this beautiful consciousness, this mastermind consciousness of intention that has been created in this sanctuary. We feel this gratitude in the name after the loving nature of our source, of principle. And so it is. Amen. Will everyone please stand? So we are going to sing a very simple chant. I am remembering who I am. We've done it here before, but we're going to do it again. written some things down during our meditation, our intentional meditation. And so, when I was thinking about creating this talk, I was like, thinking about all the times that I participated in burning bowl ceremonies before, and so there were like individual things, like, certain things that I would put down, like these little individual, whatever this is, and this person over here, and I want to just forgive that, and so I would write certain things, like, it was basically a forgiveness list for me. But this year I wanted to look at something different. I wanted to look at something, because there's larger frameworks oftentimes that if you actually take some time to really look, what you're looking at is really a part of a larger something. And so, that's why during the meditation I started talking about what about certain tendencies and behaviors and people that we tend to manifest in our lives. And so, because, you see, oftentimes we have this idea. And this idea came from attempting to navigate being human. And so, we learned a lot of things through modeling. We modeled behavior. And these were our initial teachers, and we modeled what we saw. We modeled what we saw on television. And now it's like, social media. And there's so much modeling. There's so many things that are showing us different things. And so we attempt, because we also see a story. We see the story with this modeling, that if I do this, then this is what I'm going to get. So there's a reward system with this modeling. If I follow what I'm seeing on this television program, for example, then I'm going to generally create the same type of life for myself. Or if I follow what my parents, or how they did it, and things like that, and I appreciate what they were able to create, then I'm going to be able to create something similar for myself. Or if I follow some of the behavior of some of my friends, and it looks like they're doing pretty well, and they seem to be happy, then maybe. And so we have these different points that we model, these different ideas that we then begin to create this whole emulate. And then there's identities. We create these identities, and identities have meanings within our culture and our society. These identities, we identify as this and identify as that. And so, based on what you identify, then there's certain meanings in our culture based on these identifications. And so I say all that to say, we lose the authenticity as far as the unique being that we are, because now with this compilation of what we're modeling, and all these other different things, as well as different meanings of identities and things that we self-identify and all these other different things. You see? And so we over time we begin to lose who we are, lose sight of this authentic you, this authentic us that's always been there. And so I chose the scripture of the prodigal son in the book of Luke, chapter 15, verses 11 through 32. And I chose this because many people look at the book, at the prodigal son from a different standpoint. They look at it from, like, for example, like the prodigal son, he just, he wanted to go party or something. They look at it from that standpoint. Or maybe they look at it from a moral, like they look at it from a moral implication, things like that. But see, I wanted to look at it from a different aspect, a deeper psychological aspect. You see, because the prodigal son really represents us. You see, he forgot who he was. He forgot who he was for a moment. And so he had to go on a journey in order to begin to come to himself. And so when I talk about tendencies and behaviors and people and things like that, see, these are all things that are outward expressions which are based on compensations for how we feel about ourselves. The prodigal son, for example, there was some unworthiness there. There was some not enough there. So he basically lived in excess. And so he took the money, he took the inheritance, and he went and spent in excess, in excess, in excess. And so I invite you to figure out what to think or reflect where you've been spending in excess. Perhaps you've been spending in excess as far as to prove yourself. Perhaps you've been spending in excess to be seen or be noticed or be recognized. Perhaps you've been spending in excess to be loved, to be, as far as being loved, as far as wanting to feel that people really loved you. Perhaps you've been spending in excess as far as excess of your energy in order to prove externally and be certain things that maybe that's really not who you are at your core, but you're being these things because you're perceiving an absence. You see, there's something that doesn't seem right. And see, it's the perfect thing to happen when we basically misidentify or forget who we are. So I'm just going to say it's not your fault, okay? It's what naturally happens. Naturally happens when we begin to lose the authentic nature of who we are in a whole sea of things that we self-identify as and all sorts of ideas that we have as far as modeling and all sorts of other things. And see, these things create this idea, I am not enough. And so since I am not enough, whatever this I am not enough is, now I have to now go forth and I have to prove, I have to now do some things to be enough. I have to be enough. And so this then sends us on these journeys of excess. When we spend in excess like the prodigal son did, he spent in excess. And it's an exhaustive journey, brothers and sisters. It's an exhaustive journey to continue to attempt to be who you are not. It only has one inevitable conclusion. This inevitable conclusion is exactly what the prodigal son was, where he was basically lying down with the pigs. And see, he then reached this point where now it's like he was at this moment of, this is just not working. And so he began to come to himself. All of that spending in excess, and all of this spending in excess, and spinning his wheels, it wasn't working. It wasn't working. And so he had to be at a low point before the illusions finally began to fall away, and then he realized where he was, with pigs, eating with pigs. And so many of us, we have our low points as well. Where we have to spend in excess of our energy. When we find ourselves in low places, low spaces. Because, again, it's a futile attempt to continue to try to be something that you're not. You are who you are. And who you're meant to be is who you're meant to be. And so this talk is not about just focusing on the little things, about the little small individual things like, this person, I didn't like what this person did, and so I was really angry with this person. I'm going to let that go, so let me write that down on my thing to burn in the burning bowl. This is about looking at larger frameworks of healing, larger frameworks of your own therapy. And it all still goes down to an inevitable idea, this false idea, but it's an idea that you have anyway. It's an idea that on some level, I am not enough in this area, in that area, whatever that I am not enough is. But know that the universe always sees you as more than enough. Know this, that you cannot be like anybody else. Even if you see two things that are exactly the same things, those things are not exactly the same. It doesn't matter what you want to think about. You can think about, there's manufacturers that make billions of cell phones, for example. Each one of those cell phones is different in some kind of way. It is going to serve a different function in some kind of way. You have people that may be identical twins, but at the same time, they develop their own personalities. They're not meant to serve the same function. You are not meant to serve the function of any other than your sovereign you. And that is the place where you will find true happiness. That is a place where you do not have to prove anything. Because there's nothing to prove as far as being exactly who you are. You see, there's nothing to prove there. There's absolutely nothing to prove there. You see? You are the greatest representative of you. You will always be the greatest representative of you. You are the only one that can be that great representative of you. And no one else can be it. No one else at all. The universe created you for a reason. You have the exact frequency, the exact gifts, the exact amount of things that you are supposed to have right now. And so this is not, we have some of our brothers and sisters who are our self-improvement folks. And so I'm going to invite our self-improvement folks to table that for a little while and just basically attempt to just accept who you are without the self-improvement. So now, what does your list look like? What does your list look like as far as remembering that there's a core as far as who you are? The prodigal son said, you know something? Even in my father's house, even the servants had meals. You know, they had meals, and they had beds to lay in. And here I am with the pigs in my father's house. You know, what am I doing here? And so we have to come to that place. We have to come to that eye-opening, honest self-reflection. Is it really worth it? I mean, from the standpoint of learning what we're learning, yes, it's worth it. From the standpoint of learning everything that you've learned up to now, absolutely it's worth it. It's necessary that you actually took this journey. Your journey is sovereign. But your paths are never fixed. Everything changes from one decision to the next, one choice to the next. You can make different choices and different choices and different choices and different choices that are different from the choices that you were making before when you were not enough. And make different choices that you're enough. And next thing you know, your life is in a whole new direction. A whole new place. You're experiencing things that you never even saw before because now you're making choices that I'm enough. I'm enough choice. No matter what that enough is, I'm enough as far as love. I'm enough as far as being seen and recognized. I'm enough as far as whatever your enough is. But make choices and trusting that you're enough and see where your life goes then. I can guarantee you it won't look the same come 2027. It won't look the same at all. Completely different. But it requires courage. It requires courage. It requires honesty. It requires self-reflection. It requires inventory. And so, you know, and I really love the prodigal son, because I saw it from a whole different perspective at this point. You know, because then when he said, you know something, forget all the entitlement, forget everything, you know, I'm just going to go and just ask to be, and get a job as a servant, you know? And so he wasn't going back like, I'm the son, and no, he was just going back, he was like, hey, I just want to be a servant. Being a servant is better than where I've been. So he let go of everything. He let go of everything. And so the first thing that happened, the first thing that the father did was he restored the relationship. He restored, and see, that's exactly what happens with us. See, once we finally stop our constant trying to be something that we are not, there's a relationship that's restored. Our relationship is restored with us. A relationship, this powerful relationship, is restored at that point. And now you're living this empowered life. You see, you're feeling it now. You're feeling it. You're feeling the kingdom that's working within you at this point. Because now you're not having to prove it. You don't have to prove to be who you are. There is nothing to prove there. There's absolutely nothing to prove. You see? And as far as being recognized, the universe recognizes you. The universe sings your name. It sings your name. So, It is a relationship that actually begins to be created within you. A relationship with your whole self. You know, it's very quiet in here. Is everybody feeling this? Okay, all right, okay. So my whole point is to make the most of 2026. And I know, see, at the beginning, we're always excited. At the beginning of 2026, you know, we get gym memberships. You know, we do all sorts of different things at the beginning of 2026. You know, maybe, 4 months later, we're not doing it anymore, stuff like that. So, I'm asking you to make a commitment to you. To make a commitment to just being you. Nothing else. Just be a commitment to being you. To have bravery in being you. And to honoring you. And to make choices about honoring you. Okay? And in honoring you, guess what? It's going to spill over into honoring your people. Because you're going to feel better about yourself at that point. You're going to be fuller. You see? You're going to experience that self-love, and that's just going to spill over into love for your people. It's a natural, overflowing love. So I'd like you to take a moment now and reflect on some of these things. I'm not giving you an affirmation today. I want you to take this time, as far as that we would actually spend in reading an affirmation, to write down what it is that maybe now that you can now think about as far as letting go. Maybe there's some other ideas that are now popping into your mind. Some ideas based on just being who you are. Perhaps some of the little small things that you have written down are parts of a greater framework. I invite you to look at it. Why do you want to let that thing go? Whatever it is that you want to let go, why do you want to let it go? Okay? Are you understanding your contribution to that, whatever that thing is? I just invite you to take a look at all these things, you see? Because being self-aware, knowing thyself, that's knowing God. Knowing to know thyself is to know God. Everybody with me? Okay. All right. So, we are going to just, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. I'll tell you what, everybody that's finished writing everything, just raise your hand, please. Okay. Nobody has anything else to write? Anybody have anything else to write? Nobody? Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right, brothers and sisters. So we are going, as soon as we dismiss, we're not going to be singing the peace song. We're going to be going into the courtyard. So I'm going to invite April up, and so everyone, you're going to be that light that your Father, Mother, God intended for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Stephen. Okay, so let me look at my notes because I'm new. Where are we? Tithes and offerings, okay. So we're going to say our abundance blessing, divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Divine love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, it is so now. front of the lobby. Just scan the QR code. Copies of today's service are available on CD at the front desk. Please subscribe and like us on Facebook. Next Sunday, January 11th, Reverend Fleming will be felicitating our Sunday message. Please see Thursday's newsletter for more details. 1 week after that, Sunday, January 18th, we will be having our annual White Stone ceremony. We will be setting our intentions for 2026. Over the next few months, Unity is looking for people to contribute in the creation of our mission and vision statements. If interested, please see Lydia Jones. Also see Thursday's newsletter. Every third Thursday of the month, Unity holds a compassionate healing grief support group upstairs in the main lobby and the lounge area. We offer a safe atmosphere for anyone grieving, going through something difficult, or feeling lost. Our next meeting is January the 15th, Thursday. You can see our newsletter for details. My name is April. I am part of the Compassionate Grief Group, charitable donations, and a platform speaker. If anybody's interested in sacred services, you can see me after. Thank you. Now we'll go to the courtyard.
So everyone, we're gonna go outside.